going on, everybody? It is Tuesday, 7 p.m. It's time for the Triple Threat Bet Podcast. I'm here. I'm Ty. We've got Al and Matt in the background. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. But I do want to start out with one of my family members, Rob Eaton, up in Corbin, Kentucky. He's not feeling that well, so just want some prayers for him. We're pulling for you, Rob. You're up in Lexington right now, brother, but we love you. Everybody's praying for you back here in Corbin, down here in Houston, Texas. And hope everything works out because we love you. And Houston Cougars, appreciate you making the run. Didn't get the final prize, but that's okay. Maybe we'll get it next year. But my Kentucky Wildcats weren't there at all, so I guess I can't talk any shit yet. But let's head on over to Matt Johnson, see what he's got going.
I mean, he could talk shit, but it wouldn't matter. So there's that. So just welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday. Glad to see you guys. Glad to be here again another week. I did want to just start off first off by just remember my little man, Bruno, my dog that's been in the family for a long time. He passed away last week, and it's been pretty hard on my family. He's been a part of the family. If anybody that's a pet owner knows how it goes, that's a pretty difficult thing to go through. So, thoughts and prayers to my wife and my son and my daughter, and just thinking about them so they can get through. And just I hope you guys remember the great times with them, because he sure as hell had a great time with you guys. So I just wanted to start out with that, and we'll take it over to the hero.
Man, everybody open this show with some sad shit. Y'all making me want to fucking vomit. So I just want to, this is just a public service announcement to the American public. Calm the fuck down. Like, y'all just calm the fuck down. Y'all motherfuckers are out here fucking burning Teslas and vandalizing people's shit, freaking out about tariffs. Calm down. You can't turn a ship around in a day. It takes time. This country's been fucked up for many, many, many moons. It's going to take time to fix shit and get shit back to like America, back to our glory days. Let's just all calm the fuck down. Stop being fucking keyboard gangsters on social media and talking all this crazy shit. Like, knuckle up, shut the fuck up. Either one. Like, you can't have both. Like, just everybody calm down. Like, we're out here freaking out about the tariffs and the cost of X, Y, and Z. It's going to take time. Just want to let everybody know, public service announcement to the American public, calm your motherfucking asses down. It ain't that serious. Got to give it some time. And I'm going to go buy a Tesla this weekend. I don't like Teslas. I don't care about a fucking electric car. I like a fucking smoking diesel, beautiful, blowing black smoke, killing the ozone. But I'm going to buy one, and I'm going to hide up in that motherfucker. I'm going to park that bitch. I'm going to drive that bitch to, I don't know, New York, California, somewhere like that. I'm going to park that motherfucker. I'm going to lay him that bitch with an AR. And I'm hoping and praying one of you masked motherfuckers vandalize my shit. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I got to say, Ty.
That's funny.
All right. Hey.
I tell you what, though, here's what's hilarious about that whole rant. Half the people out there scratching Teslas are scratching their best friend's car, which is
crazy, bro. Like, y'all ain't proving no points. What are you doing?
Look,
just calm down.
It's that whole thing, man. You got to have a side. You got to pick a side. When you pick that side, you got to stay with it, ride or die, man. But here's the other part that's funny, though.
Pick the side of the country. Pick America. Stop picking a Democratic or Republican party. Pick the country. Pick America. Like, pick. Fuck, how about go out and get a job? If you got a job, you too tired to be out there vandalizing and marching for fucking against Elon. Go get a real job, get a part-time job, get something that requires you to be up between the hours of 8 and 5, doing your job, paying taxes, giving a fuck. Like, how about we get jobs? Let's do that. Let's get all these jobs. We wouldn't have all this.
They also don't realize that Teslas, Cybertrucks, they're recording you doing the whole fucking thing, dude. So they got your face. They can see you doing it. They see you smiling while you're doing it. And they're like, wait, you caught me? I don't know what happened. Yeah, it's like a spaceship with cameras, dude. So you might not want to do that. But it is crazy. We were supposed to be going green, right? I thought. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's here.
Shout out to my boy Jay Kilgore. He's in the building. What's up, Big Jay?
So
what's up to shout out to Quentin Smith too. His Florida Gators won last night. So Quentin Smith, former first sergeant, friend of the program, guest on the program. Your Florida
I guess the Houston team is not getting grills. I seen a thing about somebody was going to buy the whole team grills.
Paul Wall, he was going to be like, I got you. And he's like, never mind. I ain't spending that money for losers.
All I'm going to say is fuck Texas. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them Cougars. How about that?
God bless.
Man, you better not ever come over.
Nah, I'm just kidding, bro. It's
I
a
know.
joke.
Al gonna cross the border and then you gonna wonder why people's fucking your
Texas
truck up.
Texas is my second home. I love Texas. If I didn't live in the state of Florida, in DeSantis country, my ass would be living in Texas because Texas is a wild state. I love Texas.
You would.
I love Texas.
I mean, I think you talk about the free state of Florida. Let's be real, dude. Free state of Texas. I'm just saying.
I mean, y'all are cool too. That's what I said.
Y'all are cool too. That's what I said. Okay, that's cool.
Sorry, let me interject here for a second, fellas. So since we don't really have an advertised guest tonight, I kind of wanted to talk about, maybe give me like a few lines on who some of your favorite guest is. Don't say the obvious one. You know what I'm saying? But who's your favorite guest we've had on, Matt?
Oh man, dude, we've had so many great ones. I think Larry Driscoll was a favorite of mine. I loved hearing his story and what he went through. I love talking to Dan Levine, two cops that have two different backgrounds, so it was interesting to hear theirs. And there's many more, man. We've talked to a bunch without stating the obvious people. We've talked to people that maybe you could go back and take a look at that, if just to hear their stories would be amazing. And then who we had on last week on Tuesday, geez, man, it's been a long week, but I like
Jovan Mosby.
Mosby, like his story was cool. Like we've had that dude on twice, and we're not even like a quarter of the way through everything we could talk about with him. That's how you know that dude's got a lot to say, and it's all education, interesting, smart, good takes from like a path of like, this is what we can do to help, and those are the conversations I love having. But
so for me, obviously, I'm not allowed to say the obvious, but because he is kind of one of my heroes, so I'm excited to have him pop in tonight. But if I had not gonna say, we'll just keep it at that. But I'd say Louis Forsica, Doc Forsica, told his story. Yep. His story was, I mean, the kid's got a freaking Silver Star or whatever it is, whatever's below the Medal of Honor. I don't even remember off the top of my head. Navy Cross, bro. Navy Cross. He's got a Navy Cross.
Yeah.
I mean, his story, when you hear him tell his story no big deal. Just a Navy Cross. But no, you hear him tell his story. I'm an E3
with one, bro. I was an E3 when I got that.
Well, that's my point. His story resonated because he talked about how he was a horrible sailor, really. Like he didn't, he really wasn't good at what he was great at what he did, but he just wasn't like the prototypical, everybody wanted him. Nobody wanted this guy on their team. And he's like the last picked in kickball, and he goes out and saves a bunch of Marines' lives. So he's one of my favorites. Obviously, Jovan Mosby, just because of who he is. But we've had a lot of great guests on, obviously. But yeah, Louis Forsica stands out for me just because his story was so pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Rich Rodwing, because he was my sergeant major, and then probably First Sergeant Quentin Smith because he was my first sergeant. And then my favorite guest to have on is Alberto Fight because he was a soldier that served with me.
Buddha. Let's go.
And then now he's a licensed clinical social worker helping us with the show. So, but anyway, Matt, I have a special guest in the green room.
Yeah.
And I know a bit about him. He's an Army Ranger. He's a Border Patrol agent. Specialized with BORTAC and BORSTAR. 11 Bravo, of course, with the 75th Ranger Regiment. You may have heard about him with Borderland Narcosis, Ironclad Original. He's been doing a lot of interviews with cartels and got a lot of great stuff going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring
him. Movie star, TV star.
I didn't want to bring that up, but yeah, absolutely.
Family man, husband, father.
And Bob, just so you know, he's real Army. He's a Ranger. He's not military police. Thank you for your service. Check my ID card at the gate.
I did want to say,
this guy is real Army.
Immediately. That was like Ranger.
This real Army right here, Bob. This ain't can I get on post, bro? Can I get on
bring
post?
him on. Vincent Rocco Vargas.
What's up, Rocco?
What's up, buddy?
I just put in the chat, is it just a dude with ADD, man? That's what it sounds like.
You know what? Every good man has ADD. Everybody just hasn't figured out it's okay to be that way. You know. So what's been going on, dude?
Man, y'all seen it. It's busy. It's busy. But it's been good, man. Just doing a lot of border stuff. While Hollywood is taking a hiatus, it's been a little slow for a lot of actors. I've kind of leaned into the journalism border kind of conversation. There you go. You got Narcosis, which is probably the biggest in the world right now, a podcast focused on the border conversation, specifically cartels and drugs. And that's doing about 1.5 to 3 million downloads a month. And so it's been exciting to interview people and kind of not take sides, but just interview anyone that has an opinion or an expertise in that. And besides that, working with the Border Patrol and helping them tell their story has been just an honor to give back in the community and try and serve the country in another capacity again. So that's the big focus.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the same old, the men's group, we do Light the Fuse men's group, and we have the nonprofit. And so we're just chugging along, man.
Yeah, I saw this morning they did a whole piece on TV today. I'm not going to shout anybody out one or another, but if you saw it, you saw it. They were talking to Borstar, Bortac. They were specifically talking to guys that are with the canines, on how they go through and do all that stuff. And they were going through it. And man, those dudes were like ultra excited to show off the dogs and show off what they're doing and show all the work they're doing. And it was cool to see that. So it's like interesting that somehow Ty, like, I don't know, he Kevin Baconed you coming on today, because like, I saw that this morning and then boom, there it is. You know what I mean? But that's there. And then I just, I also have to give you a congrats. You guys won the World Series last year. So
hey, it's looking like a good season already again. So
yeah. I think I was listening to a podcast the other day, and one of the hosts is a huge LA fan. And one of the hosts was telling him, like, dude, I don't know if it's going to be all right. Shohei Ohtani is dating Lindsay Lohan. And that dude almost melted down. He's like, what? And he's like, he's Googling. The guy's like, it's April 1st, dude. I'm just kidding. He is not dating Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah, we don't need that right now. We don't.
They weren't like, how do they communicate? He was just like, oh my God, the world's ending if this dude's really doing that. And I was like, that's hilarious.
That's funny, man.
Yeah, they look good again.
Dogs look good.
The biggest question I wanted to ask, Rocco, is from the time you started, I know that you went down there and you did a ride along, and then I think you started filming this. What are some of the biggest eye-opening things that you've actually seen firsthand on the border? And the reason I ask is because I should have probably said this beforehand, but what I shared with you in messages is that the barometer for where we look and get our news as a 50-year-old dude that was a veteran is changed. I still look at Anderson Cooper. I still look at Sean Hannity. I've been watching Anderson Cooper since Channel 1 when I was in high school. So it's a good barometer. But, I was saying we get our news from the people we trust, and you're out there on the border, and that is a huge issue right now. So what is the biggest thing that you've seen since you did the ride along and now you're full on filming and doing wonderful footage now? What's been going on?
Crazy is the dramatic shift of how the work happens down on the border with the Biden administration. Really, this kind of this blanket asylum, clause, if you want to call it that, was being used across the board with all illegal immigration. And so that was kind of a loophole. And I'm not sure, I'll just say it this way. It felt like either neglect or complete ignorance. And that what made the job as a Border Patrol agent very challenging, because anybody was being allowed in this kind of catch and release system. And I use those terms because to better explain it, but it was like a catch and release. You'd come across and say you're seeking asylum, and they get afforded the opportunity to go into the country and wait for your court case to be heard. That was happening in the millions. And so as soon as the Trump administration came in, they cut that out right away. And now everyone is liable for getting deported or expedited, removed. It depends on the situation. But that is the biggest dramatic change. And when that happened, the Border Patrol itself, the career field, felt like, hey, we can finally do our jobs again. And what we're doing is righteous. It's back on the rails, if you will, doing the job that they signed up for, that they initially wanted to protect this nation. They felt that they were finally doing it again, right? And so it was a very, very dramatic shift from bodies coming in left and right, from the hundreds, from the thousands, to all of a sudden onesie twosies. I mean, it's the deadest it's been in freaking, I don't know how long, 10 years, maybe even more. I mean, probably 20, 30 years. It is dramatic shift. And so you can see how just the administration's focus on the border and how they're doing it has been very effective. Now, that does not come without controversy. Obviously, some people feel that some of the migrants or some of the illegal immigrants are not being, I guess, treated fairly, or being able to have their, I guess, their proceedings seen in court, or their due diligence to be done in the immigration standard. But it went from an open faucet to shut off. And so, yeah, there's going to be some discrepancies in that. There's going to be some issues in that. But for the most part, if you're looking at this at a Homeland Security posture, I mean, we couldn't have done a better job than what has happened so far. And so that's been the biggest dramatic change.
Excellent. And so kind of a follow-up question. So with the dramatic change in the traffic going down, and maybe there's not as much track, I'll try to form this question as best as possible. I'm kind of pulling from your book. You talk about like seeing sign and tracking sign. Is there going to be a lot more opportunities for the Border Patrol agents to see more points of entry where people were coming in, and maybe see what some of the cartels were doing and things like that?
Well, the posture before the Trump administration, there was no fear of being apprehended by Border Patrol. They actually wanted to. They would walk directly up to you and just say, hey, I'm here, I'm seeking asylum. Now we're going back to the old system where the cartel, if they're going to try and get, or cartel smuggling organizations, whoever it is, right? If they're going to try and get bodies across, they're going to try and do it in areas that Border Patrol isn't prevalent in, or isn't even in the area. And so now it goes back to the old school way of working, where you have to try and cut sign, you have to try and check for footprints, you have to try and look at the seismic meters, the cameras, and use all assets that we have to try and identify anyone who's trying to abscond detection. So that is now back in play. The game is on. Like, it's the cat and mouse game where, they put a couple here and then you go get them, and then they throw another freaking couple over here. So this is now the constant thing, but it is done so little now because there is a real repercussion for coming in illegally. You'll see jail time and you'll be deported immediately. And so that is creating a massive deterrence. Now, we only know the numbers by what we see. We don't know if there's underground tunnels. We don't know if there's other ways they're entering. There's obviously illegal immigration is a big business for the smuggling organizations. So I don't think it's completely stopped. But the normal traffic that we were dealing with in the past 4 years of the Biden administration has almost ceased to exist.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how, like, if you watch wherever you get your news from, going from what it was before, seeing like gangs of people crossing rivers and lining up and standing there and just like pretty much waiting in line to be like, all right, I'm here, cool, I'll be back later. And then now you hear that it's all off to none. Like when you when you go out and you're talking to everybody, there's a pro and a con to all of that. And so one of my questions would be, why do you think that there's still a huge segment of people, other than what you stated earlier about they're not getting their time, it's undue, it's not fair, but why such a push to not deal with all of the illegal immigration that's come in and kind of handle that? Have you seen, or do you have an opinion or a thought on like why still people are pushing back so hard on that?
You're talking about Americans who are not like
Americans, politicians, just people that are just like, you can't do that. All of a sudden it was let them in. Now, no, you can't do that to them. And it's like, it's
funny because it's not hard to explain. I don't feel the same, but I understand where they're coming from. When their argument goes, it is inhumane to just treat people that way. Okay, fine. Most of these people who have claimed asylum were not claiming authentic asylum cases. They were just using that as a tool to get in. It was kind of the loophole to the system. But that doesn't matter. A lot of politicians, a lot of activists don't like to see it that way. They see, hey, if they see the idea if no one is illegal in America, the land is stolen, blah, blah, blah. That whole conversation continues to go deep, where they don't like any kind of deportation. They think it's unfair. They think it's unjust, and they think it's inhumane. And so you have people fighting against the style that what we're going with of how we are deporting people and mass deportations. I'm talking ICE has lists of people who have criminal records who are also here illegally are now being located and deported. And people don't like that. It doesn't look good on camera, right? If someone's having a phone and recording it, it never looks good, but it's authentically happening. It's legit where someone has not legal and not in legal status and also broke some kind of law. Well, now they're getting deported. So emotionally, if you remove the emotions from it, it is just the law, and we're finally abiding by the law. If you allow your emotions to get the best of you, it is not easy to watch a family member, a loved one, or someone of the same kind of, culture, get treated that way. It feels as if it is being racist, but there's nothing about race involved in breaking a law and following the law that governed this country, right? That gives us our sovereignty.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes me laugh sometimes is like we're doing the thing that is a law. Like if you come in illegally, then you get deported. Like that's a law that was signed into law. The people that we elected did it, and as Americans, we know, that's the law. Yeah. And people are still like, I don't care about the law. You shouldn't do that. And I'm like, oh my God, we elected you to do what?
That's
what is going on?
That's the hard part, is that people are emotionally invested to this subject so deep that they don't realize, like, you can't say yes to some laws and no to other. You can't pick and choose. Yeah. Now, if you don't like the law 1320, it's UFC 1325, to enter into this country illegally outside of a port of entry. If you don't like that law, well, then you have to start doing what everyone else does, is create votes, right? Start having your politicians create petitions and start to it's just the system that we have here. And so in the end of the day, you can't just pick what laws to pick and choose. It doesn't make sense. But for some reason, these high level politicians act as if they're completely ignorant to that. And that's what makes it always weird to me to watch. Like, I don't understand where they're coming from with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the conversations that I've heard on narcosis are, I mean, I'll say they're jarring, but they're not really jarring for me necessarily. They're probably jarring for the American people. So if you have a chance, go watch Vincent Rocco Vargas. It was his Ironclad original. And the question I guess I want to ask now is, with some of those conversations we've had, people talk about cartels being prevalent in the continental United States. And then some of your conversations say they aren't, that there's not many cartel members here. And there's other conversations about the cartel supports certain candidates. I guess my question would be, should we worry about who the cartels are supporting for president, or is that a passive thing that the FBI is just looking at who's the least of our problems when it comes to
the cartel? Doesn't look at it in a sense of how it'll affect America. The cartel looked at it in how it'll affect their business. And so just detach that idea. They only go for Trump because they can charge more, because they knew Trump was going to be very stern about illegal immigration. So now they can charge each individual double to triple more money. So that's the only reason they're picking sides of any of it. I think they're actually more afraid of Trump, just on the fact that he already, designated them as a terrorist organization, which means, there ain't no fucking around no more with that one, right? And so I think the cartel was only interested in Trump becoming in office because they knew they can charge more. So it was more for their best interest financially, not because they actually liked Trump by any means. I think they're actually terrified of him. It's actually all about money. And so, I would also tell you that everyone who is on our show, we vet them, and they're experts in their idea, but there could be some honeypot, right? There can be some psyop happening in every one of these conversations that I am aware of, in the sense of, like, I'm kind of, I invite them into my podcast. I ask them the questions, but I don't take all of it as facts. I just sit back and say, okay, interesting conversation. That was good. There's things I might think, like, let me validate that or something. But, we had two guys one guy, Jay Flores, who's been at the table with three of the biggest cartel in the history, in our most recent history. And, he's been verified heavily, and he's probably the one with the most controversy, where most people in America would like, who's this guy? He's not a real cartel. And that's funny, because people really don't know. They think a cartel member should be this big scary dude, and this guy was just a businessman. And there's another individual that was on our show that was massive, like, it was super viral. But I sit here thinking sometimes, like, is he doing a psyop? Is he just telling me what he thinks I want to hear, but there's more truth to that? I don't know. I'm just going to sit back and kind of allow myself to interview these individuals. And, I think all of you should take a more educated approach to, like, listen to all angles and start kind of deciphering what you feel it makes you most comfortable. And if you have questions, like, look into it even deeper.
Absolutely.
I do have another question, though. I need to know how I can make my own action figure. I mean, like 2 versions. Everybody in your house has an action figure.
No,
I need an action figure, bro. Like, how do I get that thing rolling?
That's all ChatGPT. They came out with
it's all AI. It's hilarious.
Yeah, they came out with a new model. Yeah, they came out with a new model or a new version of the imagery. And as long as you have a really good prompt, man, you can make those. And so I was just messing with the prompts and made one for my wife, and I made one for almost every major character I played. So one from Rocco from Ranch, right? I made one from Lucy Shimmers. I made one from Mayans.
The Border Patrol one and the Mayans one, those are the dopest, dude.
Yeah,
those look good.
Dude, they're dope.
Yeah,
they're cool, bro. I like them
the
too.
Gilly one is not to be messed with. He's like, I will fuck you up. That action figure, like, that's the one I want to play with.
It's funny. The first one, it was like healing through hitting, and then it had a little piece of wood on the side that looked like a wooden dildo. And I was like, man, what the hell's wrong with AI, man? This, like, I even posted it, and then I was like, oh, I'm a little embarrassed about that one. But AI doesn't always get it right, man. But it was pretty funny.
Now, who knows? Somebody saw that. You might have some action figures coming out soon. That'd be cool.
Well, a couple people hit me up. My boy from Zert, he made an action figure, and so me and him have been talking back and forth about potentially making one of them.
Nice.
Pretty sweet.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
pretty
it.
sweet.
That'd be like a hot Christmas item right there. Getting it in. Dude. I saw you posting them, and I was like, either he's trying to get it just right, or just messing around, because I was just like, this one, this, and this one. And then all of a sudden I saw other people doing the same thing, trying to figure it out. But they weren't quite at the same level. So your prompt was good.
I had a very thorough prompt. Yeah. And I think if I did make them, I'd sell probably 3, and they'd be all me, my wife, and my mom, I'm sure.
Your mom. Yeah, that's how I sell t-shirts. My family buys all mine.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point, Al. Stop telling your family to support you and everything. Go get your friends to do that. You know what I mean?
Bro, I don't have no friends.
Al's paying motherfuckers to buy his
My
t-shirt.
family, though, my family's raw. They support the cause.
Your mom is like, hey baby, are you losing? I'm gonna buy like 10 today. Like,
Rocco, which one's the best? Which one's the coolest shirt?
The far left looks like a beer design. Looks pretty cool. Looks kind of like I don't know.
Whiskey
Yeah, some kind of beer whiskey. I think the middle one is a cool design. It's like it's that's a podcast kind of style. And the other one looks like a military kind of style. So I think they all are pretty cool. They all have their places. I think if I was going to wear one right now, it'd probably be the middle one.
Yeah. That one's mine. Wax poetic, baby. That's what I'm talking.
So stupid, bro.
Yeah.
Well, Rocco, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. Yeah, you're invited to come back anytime, of course, but we love what you're doing. I watch you throughout the day, most of the time. So love every episode. Thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for everything, guys. If anyone ever needs anything, let me know. I'll be jumping off this right now and headed to my men's group where we just talk about men's mental health and wellness, dude. So nice. If any one of you guys are watching ever want to jump on in, just DM me. It's every Tuesday night, and you guys can check it out. So thank you guys. Really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, God bless, bro.
Take care.
Rocco Vargas, appreciate you, man. I thought that'd be a good surprise for you guys.
That's awesome, bro.
That was cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I feel almost famous, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, he's everywhere, and I know him.
I mean, you did the book signing for him. I don't know what else you did for him, but like he's just.
We did just the book signing, and then we've had him on. But I like him because he's done a lot of stuff for a lot of people, but he still wants to talk to everybody. Like he's not trying to shy away from nothing, and anybody that'll allow him to tell the story, he'll do it. I mean, he's just like all of us, man. He's got so many irons in the fire, but there are irons that matter. We do the podcast, we do our jobs, we do other things, but everything we're doing isn't because we want to be busy. It's because it's things we believe in. And so, there you go. Take that. If you're a veteran looking for something to do once you've separated, find something that has purpose to you again. And as long as it's important to you, then go do it. Doesn't matter. Unless you're leading a Tesla riot, then maybe that wouldn't be a good idea. But I mean, hey, if that's what you do, just don't go to Al's.
Come on. I'm hoping I'm buying one just so I can lay up in that bitch with the AR. Come on, please.
That's so funny.
So hey, I do want to give a shout out to Becky. I know that losing your dog was rough. We lost Chewbacca, a little Shih Tzu, a couple years ago, and it about damn near destroyed our family. Everybody was sad. It actually died in Tatum's bed. Dogs are part of the family. So big shout out to Becky. I know you love the doggy, and I know he's looking down on you from doggy heaven.
Yeah. It's hard.
You don't know. Tell him Rock. He might have been a sinner. He might have been a little freak out there running these streets and doing his thing with the lady.
You don't know what he was doing when we went home.
You don't know what he was doing. He might have been.
Either way, he's in the best place for him.
He might have been partying it up. You don't know how he got down. I seen him.
man.
He looked like a little party animal.
He was awesome. Yeah, it's you got to take those things day by day, man. There's a lot of, I don't know, back and forth on that, dude. But I know that you guys have animals too and pets, and especially, when you think about, just how much they help. Our kids went to college. He was there. You know what I mean? Like, I retired, and we all know what it's like in this podcast when you retire. It's pretty fun for everybody else, and he was there. So he's been around for a lot of major stuff, and then to walk in and he's not running and saying hi, it's pretty difficult. But we get there day by day. But thank you for doing that and saying that. She will appreciate it, I'm sure.
I'm a horrible person, absolutely. Matt. I'm a horrible person. I can't wait for my dogs to pass away, bro.
You're lying, dude.
I'm not even kidding, bro. I really like.
Which one is Kenzie's favorite? That's the one. That's the one. Dude.
She likes the 3-legged one the most, I think, or the other one. But I tell my wife all the time, like, I'm like, when Moose had to go to the vet to get like cancer cut off him, bro. See, it sounds really bad. People are gonna be fucking bashing us in the comments later when they watch it. But like when he went to the hospital, when he went to the hospital, bro, like I secretly was like, I hope we have to put him down. Like, I know it sounds horrible as a person, but I was like, we have too many dogs. That's the problem, bro. I was like,
we only had, but see that there is a difference there, right?
Official.
There is a difference. Terrible. Yeah, we just have one. We had one dog, one family dog. And
then Matt, then they take him in. And they're like, oh, he's gonna be just fine. I was like, fuck,
yay,
fuck me.
Well, I do appreciate when I was able to talk to you guys last week and told you what happened. The support, like that, it means a lot, dude, because it's a difficult thing sometimes. But he was a gangster, man. I love him, dude. I'm hoping I can win. We go to Project Halo over here all the time. We're mug members, and this year somebody's gonna win an opportunity to brew their own beer with the brewmaster.
What?
I had a beer in mind that I picked out. And then once this happened, dude, I've changed it and I already know what I'm doing. So I can't say it right now because I've already talked to the brewmaster one time and I was like, I know what I'm going to do. And I've got the label picked out, but I'm not telling you. And I think Becky was sitting there, or Cole, and they were like, why? I'm like, because if I tell her and she doesn't want to make that one, I'm definitely not getting picked. She's like, yeah, you're right. That's 100%. You're correct. I will not pick you if that's not what I want to make. So whatever. Maybe we'll just try to see if we can do it anyway, because he's the man. We love that dude.
I'm a pet rock kind of guy. Like, I could deal with that.
Pet rock. Yeah, they'll be around forever, even after you.
CIA Bob said he's wax poetic. He said he wore yours yesterday, Matt, but he's wearing mine today. You'll want to see.
He got a lot of comments on mine. I haven't heard about no comments on yours. You know what I'm saying?
There's CIA Bob with the wax poetic shirt. Thanks, what? CIA Bob. Appreciate you wearing the shirt, man.
Hell yeah. He did say, Al, you probably should use some
on the screen
shock therapy treatments for something. Maybe it's that whole outlook on.
It's probably the outlook on, like, I wish my dogs would die, because I really do. It sounds so bad when I say. My wife gets so mad, like.
She keeps bringing them home, or they jump in the truck with you.
When you say stuff like that, it makes me not want to love you. I'm like, I can't be with myself. Like, I can't wait for these motherfuckers to be done. Like, when she goes on vacation and takes the little dogs, life is good. I got the 2 big ones. They don't even bark. Like, I'm like, these motherfuckers are great. I don't even know they're there. Motherfucker.
Y'all got to eat today.
Bro, for real. Like, man, I like animals, but I can't tell you, I can't sit here and be like, I love animals. And I really, like, when people are like, we can't drill for oil because of these animals. I'm like, fuck them animals, bro. Shit, I don't give a fuck about no. If all the polar bears went extinct, I wouldn't give a fucking rat's ass. I'd be like, fuck them polar bears.
Yeah, but isn't that hilarious? That's a hilarious take on things when people that are like super for the environment and they're talking about farming and they want to do that and they're like, you can't do this because it messes up, whatever, animals. And you're like, you guys do realize you want to be a vegan, but what it takes to grow your shit kills life in the ground when you do that with pesticides. They're like, what?
If it was legal to hunt bald eagles, I'd have bald eagle chicken wings, bro. I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be out here eating bald eagles. I don't give a fuck.
No, you wouldn't.
I would, bro. If they were like, you
that know, bald eagle would fuck you up. That would be all. I would want to see that video. We'd put that shit on TikTok. Can you imagine
if you could eat bald eagle? Who wouldn't eat some bald eagle? That's America, bro. Some bald eagle, a bush light, some bald eagle. Who wouldn't eat some bald eagle? Trying to eat
a piece of America while drinking.
Bro, that's America. What's the most American meal you can think of? Probably a dolphin steak with some with some motherfucking eagle wings and a Bush Light, bro, sign me up. I'm eating eagle.
How do you go the most American meal to dolphin steak? I gotta hear this.
Because people are like, you can't eat dolphin, it's illegal. Dolphins are beautiful. Fuck them dolphins. I eat the shit out of some dolphin.
But you can just go grab an octopus out and just like go to town on it. If you can get it out.
I mean, I eat that too, but I'm just simply saying, like, people are like, we gotta say the animals. Fuck them animals. Let's eat them all. Fuck
right.
PETA. PETA, if you're listening, fuck y'all.
Talk to me about this picture right here, Matt, because I appreciated you taking this.
Oh, yeah. So the 2-week drinking binge I went on in New Orleans, I told you guys about. So we were out with my brother-in-law and his girlfriend. We're at a bar and we're hanging out, and we're in there in happy hour drinking beers and hanging out talking. And I look up, I'm like, oh fuck, man, there's a UK flag in the bar. So I had to take a picture and send it to you. That's a bar in Metairie, Louisiana, and they just
Nice.
I think people, if they like their team, they can bring the flag. They'll put it on the ceiling. It's almost like going into a VFW and you get to paint your own ceiling tile. I think that's kind of what it's like there, or putting $1 up in the ceiling and stuff like that. But I was like, oh shit, a UK flag in New Orleans. I gotta send that stuff. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. UK did win the championship there in 2012, so
maybe it did
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nice. Anyway, so how you doing today? Pretty good.
They do care. I'll tell you somebody that does care. What do y'all think about Stephen A. Smith getting a 5-year contract worth $100 million? So he's making, if he were in the NFL, he'd be the 85th highest player, NBA 81st, MLB 65th, and in the NHL, he is the highest paid player. What do y'all think about Stephen A. Smith in 5 years, $100 million?
I think he's overpaid.
Why do you say he's overpaid?
Just to do what he does. You're a sports analyst. There's no way you should make that much money. Like, come on, bro.
Who sets the market though?
You're right. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong that he's making that money. I just think it's crazy.
Well, I would say this,
as much money as he is as a loudmouth, and I like him, a loud ass sports analyst. Like, sometimes he doesn't know his ass, and I do like him because he's always bashing LeBron. So I think he should let's pay him more. Let's pay him a little bit more.
Gets a raise
because he's always bashing LeBron. Let's give him a raise, a little bit more.
A little incentive for bashing LeBron.
Yeah, he gets another incentive.
I would tell you this: ESPN's getting their money's worth because that dude right there is transcending into a lot of different areas. When you have like that, you have that crossover of pop and country and all those things. When you talk that, there's a lot of people that are all over him about his outtake on how things are going in the country right now. And all he's really saying is like, you guys need to get your shit together. And people are just so pissed. And so he's so in the news right now. ESPN is like, he's that firecracker, dude. You don't want to get rid of that. And he's not, Stephen A. Smith is a very opinionated guy, right? And he has his rants and he has his things. I just feel like here lately, he's just really like, how can you not rationally see what he sees and things like that? So, I mean, 100 million, I would do this. Who's the highest paid person at ESPN? Because it ain't Stephen A. Smith. Can't be. There's probably people that make more money.
I don't
know.
So.
In that, I don't think so. Not in that field. I don't think so. I don't think there's another analyst.
The closest, but
I don't think there's another analyst that makes more than that right now.
Not just ESPN has a brand of all kinds of things.
But I'm saying in his
you've got Stephen A. Smith.
I think Stephen A's got him.
Like, there's a lot of people doing a lot of things, but he is the guy right now that he has an opinion about more than sports, and people are just listening, dude. Like, he hit it at the right time, bro. It was the right place in the right time. He got that contract at the right time. I don't think that would have been available 2 years ago, and it wouldn't probably be available a year from now. But right now, if ESPN don't pay him $100 million, he's going somewhere else, and someone else would be happy to pay it. So
yeah, I don't know where else you would go to have the same thing, because it's Stephen A. Smith and ESPN are synonymous at this point. I just think they.
So was Colin Cowherd, ESPN, until he went to Fox.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Colin Cowherd never was synonymous with ESPN across all
radio. He was, though, not on a TV show. Oh yeah, you're talking ESPN radio, and then he went to Fox Radio, right? Like, yeah. I'm not talking just television wise. I'm just overall. Like, when you thought of the Herd, you're like, oh, wait, is it Fox? Like, people move and roll on. But
maybe I should just tell you what I think of Stephen A. Smith as like the anchor. Like, there's the ABC anchor, NBC, CBS.
Yeah.
He is the anchor of ESPN. To me, he is the guy.
Right now,
yeah.
I mean, Bob Lee, I think he was the guy for the longest time, and you got Chris
Berman,
Tom
Jackson.
Guy. But I don't think anybody's running shit like day to day like he is. It may be Greenberg. Greenberg's I think he's got a lot of people there.
But Stephen A. Smith is he's that, to your point, he's the journalist or the anchor that is in the know. He's got the access to be able to talk to all the people. Did y'all see his rant the other day where who the fuck was he talking about? I don't remember who he was talking about. I think it was LeBron. He's like, if you got some shit to say to me, we can handle this shit like men. Come talk to me. I don't remember who he was talking about.
Oh yeah,
somebody pissed him off, and he's like, "Come tell me to my face. I'm ready. Let's go." I was like, "Damn."
Yeah.
LeBron knocked Stephen A's ass out.
I do believe that LeBron would win that exchange.
I 100% believe.
I don't know if it was him, but it was a rant on ESPN about somebody that was trashing him for having an opinion on how things are going right now.
Hey, he better shut the fuck up. He's gonna get Will Smith at the next ESPN awards. He's gonna be up there and get slapped. LeBron's gonna go there and slap him. He better shut up.
Yeah.
Shut his ass. And I hate LeBron.
Lily pad on you guys again. One more lily pad. Ready?
Yeah.
When you're accidentally included in a war plan group chat. So what's your take on the reporter from the Atlantic that got put in the group chat? One, that's a thing. Somebody put him in there. That was terrible. Two, it was on Signal. Three, it was a group of our, elected and all the appointed officials talking about an actual airstrike that was going to go on. So what's your feeling about that?
First off, why... we talk about war plans on Signal. Is that Facebook messaging everybody what the fuck is about to happen? We don't do that in a more appropriate manner. Do they do that in the regular military now? You just signal.
Here's what I think.
I have no idea why the fuck they're
conspiracy
talking
theorists. Yeah, for one, that shouldn't be happening. And for two, bro, somebody did that shit on purpose.
I think the same thing.
Somebody did it on purpose, bro. It wasn't an accident. Somebody included that dude in.
Yeah. Nothing classified was used. Say I use Signal all the time. Well, I tell you, I use Signal all the time too. Signal is the absolute best because it's end-to-end encryption. So even if someone could see it, other than a screenshot, you're not going to get it digitally. You know what I'm saying? Because it's end-to-end encrypted. So the only way is to actually print it in a fucking newspaper. So I think it was a faux pas anyway. I don't understand it. How the guy got in there in the first place.
Somebody put him in there, bro.
That's weird as hell.
Yeah, but also, man up and be like, we fucked up, instead of being like, oh, it could have been a wrong number in the thing that they put in there. So that guy's number was the one wrong digit. Come on, dude. Now that would be Al being added to the chat if it was one wrong number. You know what I'm saying? Not like the dude from the Atlantic. So I think he was 100% put in there. And they should probably be worried about who has access to those things and adding and taking people out and figure that out. And then at the same point, I would tell you this: I'm happy with the way things are going, but Hegseth needs to fucking take accountability for that shit, bro. That's the thing that you were putting in there. You ran your whole confirmation on leaders need to be accountable. You need to come out and be accountable to.
Look, the fucking CIA, the FBI, they're a fucking joke. They're all a bunch of fucking.
But I'm saying his whole thing was accountability. If you do something wrong, you've got to be, it's got to be handled. He needs to come out and be accountable.
A bunch of bean counting tards. That's what they are. I'm not gonna say they are, but I'm gonna call them tards. Bunch of fucking bean counting keyboard warriors. I think they're all
right. Next lily pad.
It's gonna get better.
What do y'all think about Ukraine says it captured 2 Chinese nationals fighting in the Russian army, and we already have reports that there was North Korean in the Russian army fighting in Ukraine. How do you feel about that?
I don't even care. That's just Zelensky and Ukraine trying to throw something in there to pique our interest because it's Chinese.
That's all it is. I don't care nothing. I care nothing.
We already know that Xi Jinping and Putin are hanging out. We already know that. So why would there not? You know what I mean? That just means they're running out of Russians, dude. They need more.
I think it's like Matt said, they're trying to, they're goading us is what they're doing. They're trying to.
He got embarrassed in the Oval Office and now he's trying to make up for it. That's what that shit is. JD Vance put him in his place.
JD Vance is a gangster, bro. JD Vance is I hope he has a long career in politics. That dude's a gangster, bro.
Yeah. Smart
Bob
guy.
says, "Yeah, I had way too many contractors out here fixing that."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they did. I think there's a lot of people everywhere. You know, speaking on that note, you know, you hear everybody talking about federal workers and what's going to happen with that and where people are going, and you know, people are, you know, they don't have a job today, and then tomorrow we're going to let them have their job. And you know, you know, Sierra works in the federal system, working at the VA for the hospital, right? I do see that they're trying to make changes, but there is a part of me that I hope they're taking a look at these things for what each entity is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, do we have too many people from the Social Security Administration? I would not know, because nobody goes in that office. It takes forever to get a new Social Security card. We're trying, you know, remember towards the end, you know, you hear recruiters talking about we can't even get information. Like if you lose social, you needed to do it to join the military. That was super difficult because you had to call somebody. So that part I see. But when you're talking VA appointments, veterans getting help, maybe you should look at that and go, hey, maybe we don't have too many people here. Like look at what the people and their job is and what they're doing and what it means, and then go from there. You know, it's like a strategic thing versus a blanket, I think. And so,
I believe they are, though. I believe they are. I believe they're looking at it strategic. And it's funny because I remember going back to when I was going to retire, and I'm sure both of you and Ty heard the same thing. I remember people being like, I'm going to get out and give me one of these cushy government jobs, because people knew you can get a job in federal service and not do shit really and just draw a paycheck. And people who were doing it had been doing that for not it. And it does suck, right? So people are going to lose their jobs like your daughter situation or whatever. But at the end of the day, man, this is long overdue. Right, trimming the fat was long overdue, man. There's people that have had federal jobs for 20 years who really don't really know. You don't even know what they do. So I think you know, the media portrays it as like they're just going in there and just fine. I don't. I think they're looking at it from a strategical standpoint, saying, all right, you know, you've got secretaries of all these departments that are working behind the scenes to make sure that they're doing it the right way. But at the end of the day, man, you got to trim the fat. Like this is like, it goes back to my rant at the beginning when I say, calm down, everybody calm down, because it takes time. This country has been a shit show and a fucking joke for the last, let's say, at least 8-10 years. A joke. We've been a joke. And now it's going to take time and it's going to be painful, right? All these tariffs are going to cost, and everything's going to be a little painful in the beginning, but eventually things are going to work themselves out. Same thing with the federal government. Or the contractor side of it, or whatever they are, the federal employees. Well, I think eventually it'll level out.
I think that when you look at that too, Al, like the biggest problem there is, you know, at one point, I love how we keep talking about people that aren't elected or doing things to help make things better. But like, let's take that aside and not even talk about that, because that'll be rabbit hole. But someone asks, just tell me what you did this week. Like what'd you accomplish? And people losing their fucking mind. Just so you guys know out there, I work in a job that weekly I have to tell my boss what the
every day
accomplished,
every day
what I'm doing for the next week. That's called accountability. It's not called you're impeding on my rights. If you have a problem telling somebody what you accomplished, you should be proud to tell them that, because most people in jobs are not happy because their bosses don't recognize the work they're doing. At least somebody's asking you to share it. And now you're mad because you have to tell them. That's probably because you didn't do shit. And if you didn't do shit, that's why you would be mad to do it, right? Just like if I'm giving you free shit and saying it's stopping, you're going to be the one yelling the loudest in the room. You know what I mean? And so that's
what's happening.
But
that is exactly what's happening.
Creates all that noise. And so when all that noise hits, you don't know what's real, what's not, what to believe, who not to believe, because you could see this story here and that story there, and then you could try to research things on your own, and you're going to see, because of the age we live in, there's so much information everywhere. It is very hard to go and be like, shit, like, what are we doing, right? Like, oh, they cut medical funding for everything. Did they cut for everything, or what did they not do? But I saw, you know, it's like, oh my God, like, what's real? And I don't know, I went and looked at executive orders that were signed, and I read through a few, and I'm like, it doesn't say in here that they're cutting anything. All it says is that they're going to review everything. On pause. We're going to make sure that it's not 20 million going to Sesame Street in Iraq. And if it's not, then we need to do that. Right. And so, I don't know. I think it's really weird that the party that's always been for efficiency, no waste. You know what I mean? Don't waste anything. No efficiency. You got to be open about what's going on. They're the ones now like, no. Don't do that. You can't do that. You've got AOC now is like the party front runner, dude. You believe that? AOC. She's going to be more popular than Chuck Schumer. She's competing.
Bro, so here's the truth.
Right now.
And like I said, I don't care what party you belong to, but the Democratic Party, y'all better fucking get your shit together and find somebody who can lead you out of this rut that you're in. Because if AOC is the front runner and going to be the party savior, y'all are doomed for another 4 years at least. So yeah. I'm telling you, you might want to get your shit together and start taking a look. I mean, it's crazy when you say shit like she's the party front runner.
Well, if I believe what I see and what I hear, right? So let's go with that. If you believe what you see and you hear, but also I've watched podcasts and I've listened to things that had people on both sides. And I was listening to one the other day where, you know, it was Republican guys, Democrat guys. They obviously see things completely different. And one of the other side decided, yeah, I'm gonna come on your show. We'll talk. And dude, every question I guess you'd say the Republican leaning host asked the question, the other guy danced around every single fucking question. Couldn't give a straight answer. Wouldn't tell you exactly what he liked. Cause it was just like, well, then tell me what you like. Tell me why. And it was like, you couldn't. And I was listening to that one like, man, that's fucking crazy. Like if you believe in that much, you should be able to go, okay, well, here's why. Cause I guarantee you, Al, if you believe in something enough and I'm like, well, why? That's stupid. You'd be like, okay, well, let me tell you why. And you would have no hesitation, or there would be no pause in you telling me why I would definitely know why you feel that way.
Correct.
Even if I didn't agree with it, at least I can go, oh, okay, I can see.
I understand. Yeah.
I don't agree with it, but I get it, right? That's what you believe. This person was like, it was nothing. They were pointing to a whole bunch of things and unfortunately he was in the minority, but I was just like, man, that guy, like he really didn't. If I was on the fence and I listened to that one, I'd have been like, yeah, I think I'm good where I'm at. I don't need to switch over at this point because I don't see where you have anything that like you believe in that you think is great or that you think would be good. But you see that everywhere. Like we're still in the finger pointing game though. Right. Even that being said, and like, fuck man, like stop pointing fingers. And all you people that are talking about someone wasn't elected to go check for fraud, waste, and abuse in the government. Well, we elected you, and you're saying we shouldn't be looking for that. There's quotes on video of elected officials saying American people shouldn't know where we're spending tax money. Dude, every year I go to the tax guy, I swear to God, he thinks I'm going to fight him. And I'm not, but I'm just pissed because I'm like, man, I work hard, dude. And you're telling me what, you know what I mean? So like, be on our side. If we elected you to go
be transparent
by us, be transparent, right? You should be happy that we're identifying this stuff. I just can't get why we can't get there. Like, it's okay. Like, you should be answering to us anyway. We elected you people, you know what I mean? Yeah. But then at the same time, I'm friends with you and I'm friends with Ty, and you guys told me about this person. They're really awesome and I love you guys and I trust you. I'm a vote for them too. Right. There's a lot of that too. And so that doesn't always equal to where it is. So yeah, I agree.
He's talking to Bob. He's talking back and forth with Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Bob are talking back and forth.
I was going to say before you started all that with kind of with the way the Republican and Democratic Party are, I messaged Eric Sherling, the executive vice president of U.S. programming at CNN Worldwide, earlier today, and told him about our podcast. And I actually told him, you know, we have a lot of insight. We've talked about a lot of people, and I can actually show some of your people how to have a backbone. So,
did he respond?
No response yet. It was at 2:04 today, so we'll see. But
he's a pretty busy guy. He's got to make sure that Anderson's good to go for the evening show.
And I told him, you know, I told him on the line here, I've been watching Anderson Cooper since I was in high school, and I think the way that we present news on CNN has to change. It's got to change on Fox too, but it definitely has to change on CNN because y'all are.
It's all still the same as it is, Ty. This is where we're at. You can definitely tell what side they're on. This is that. Like, you remember back in the day when you didn't have Facebook, Twitter, and all that shit, when it was just You had the 6 o'clock news. So you had to go, ABC, NBC, CBS. Which one of these am I going to watch? Because that's when you went and watched it, right? And then if you missed that, you had to read it in the newspaper the next day. And the world was just as jacked up then as it is now. The difference is like you can show me videos instantaneously of what you think is wrong. And then the other part is what we're talking about right now. Somebody can come take a cut of what we talk about now, playing 10 seconds of it, and now we're villains, even though nobody wants to go see the entire clip of what you're saying to say that I think both sides need to come good. They're like, oh, this guy's a flaming whatever, or they're anti this, because you can clip 10 seconds of something and turn anybody into horrible, or you can make them into the biggest supporter that you have. And
that's why I only say horrible shit, because you don't have to clip me. I just stay. I like wearing the black hat. I'll stay being the villain. I'm okay with it. If you don't like it, you can lick my butthole. I don't even care, bro.
Yeah, but again, think about that. Is that being the villain? You're being honest and you're talking about what you believe in. So that's not villainization of anything. That's you being true and honest to your values and what you feel is important. And we should celebrate that. But unfortunately, someone would take 10 seconds of what you put and be like, this is what's wrong in America. And you'd be like, really? I don't know. I think he's pretty consistent in what he says. You know what I mean? I've been around him for a long time. Yeah. But it just, until people are willing to come together and talk about it, it's just going to be, you're going to see signal. Oh my God.
That's exactly, you nailed it again, Matt. Yeah. That's the problem. And that's the problem I had with a certain friend of ours who's no longer with us. He's passed on to the other side, apparently.
Bring back the debate club, dude.
But yeah,
bring that shit back. Like, let's talk about it. Let me hear your side. I'll tell you my side, and then we can go through there. But here's the key component to that.
Here's the problem: you can't have a debate, and your only idea is to win a debate. That's the problem.
True. So that's what I was.
You have to go into a debate and go into it like me and you are going to have a discussion.
Yeah.
To actively listen to the other person's point of view. Same with you, and then we can have a discussion over the issues. If you go into any argument or any debate with the idea of I have to win this, you've already lost, in my opinion, right?
Because you're only
there stones and you're only there to win. Then you're never going to hear what somebody else has to say.
Well, you have to go into any debate if you know that someone that differs in opinion of you, in my opinion, go into that thing and go, no matter what happens right now, I'm still going to feel about you what I felt about you before I went into it, or I'm open to hearing your side. I might even
change my view.
Change my opinion. I could, if like the argument's good and you tell me something I never heard. Like when last week, a perfect example. I got all these opinions about the fucking school system, and until Javon was like, here's why they do it, and he brought in the whole topic about they're teaching you to be productive in the community you live in. That's why school education systems are kind of built to what they teach. I was like, fuck, that makes
sense. I
never thought about that. And I was like, damn. Well, maybe it's not. I mean, it still is a factor of economic and where you're at. But now it's like, okay, but wait a minute. Could how does that gives me more? I need to go look at now, because obviously I need to educate myself more. And I think I wish that people would approach it like that, because it would be better. But unfortunately, man, there's got to be winners and losers in everything we do nowadays. And that's what sucks, man. I hate that. Yeah. See, I got your sticks. It's all good.
All right. Got another lily pad for you. Ready for this one?
Fucking love lily pads.
I like a lily pad too.
So Al's always talking about movies. He'll send me a movie. Hey, go watch The Covenant. Hey, go watch this. Hey, go watch The Change or whatever.
If that is from the movie, I'm not fucking watching it.
This is going to be the movie about GWAT, about Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. We've not really
that scene is in the movie, and that's what they're going to portray. Like, oh, go watch this. So you're saying that everybody's hanging the fuck out, because that's what it looks like.
That's true.
That's what a team looks like when you're doing a debrief. Yeah,
that's what it looks like when we're talking shit and fucking. Yeah, it looks pretty.
I get it. I don't know. Maybe
I'll watch it. We'll see. I wonder who's producing it.
Well, okay, that's what I was going to say. It was done by it's going to be produced by the same people that did that movie Civil War, and a couple other movies on.
Which I'll be honest, I watched Civil War. Wasn't horrible.
Had a really good story.
Yeah, it was. It's not horrible. Not as good as I think they could have done, but not horrible. Not a horrible movie. Yeah. Not one that I've seen time to like watch this one. It's not on my list.
Yeah.
Not on my list of recommended ties. So
You know what movie I watched one time on accident, and I think
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, that was an amazing movie. I love that one. That wasn't on accident though.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen that, by the way. So
Sure.
wait, no. I think you told me about it, Al or Ty. One of you did. What was that?
I think it was Al.
Land of Bad.
Yeah, Land of Bad.
Dude, I watched that movie and I was like,
I told Ty, I sent Ty that one too. I was like,
that
that's a good one, bro.
I did like that.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I think I may have sent it to you, but yeah, that movie was badass. I like
that.
Yeah,
Movie
it's good.
was
That's a
good.
good
And
one.
what was that one with Shia LaBeouf?
Oh, you're talking
That movie messed with your mind because
I cry in that movie, bro. I get choked up and I don't ever cry.
what was it called? I'll have to find it out. It's a good movie though. A lot of stuff about PTSD.
Yeah. Let's see.
When are we making a movie? We should make a movie.
They should make a movie about my life.
We should.
Yeah.
They should. Somebody get
Man Down
on the phone.
Ty, Man Down.
Man Down. There you go. Excellent.
That movie is excellent.
Somebody get Mr. Turnstile on the phone. We need to make a movie.
We could.
All right. What else we got here? Oh, here's one I want to ask y'all about. Ex-UFC star Cain Velasquez gets prison time for 2022 California shooting.
Wow.
Velasquez shot a man accused of molesting his child. So
let him free.
Essentially,
Give him free.
He chased him down the road in a vehicle, firing into the vehicle with a handgun multiple times, shooting multiple people, and I think he shot the wrong person. As a matter of fact.
Well.
So what do you? So here's what I was going to ask immediately. I read the fine print, and my first question was, "Is he the person that did it?" Because it says accused.
That's good. Yeah. Here's my point.
Alternate though, being a dad,
I don't give a fuck.
They said that person did it. There's times where you can't see it. So unfortunately, if you got that one wrong, Cain, you're probably going to need to pay the piper for it. But
for sure.
Before you do, go find the real guy and at least make it worth it, right?
No, if this person legitimately did that to his child, then he deserved to die. And as a dad, Cain, I salute you.
Yeah, but Ty just said.
But
if the wrong guy,
shot the wrong guy, and if you just open fire into a car full of people, you're a fucking raging idiot.
He was running after it. Ty said, shooting at it.
No. Yeah, he was chasing the car that was alleged to have the man in it that molested.
Oh, well, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Just catch the dude slipping on a playground or somewhere else and put a bullet in his brain. Like catch him later, bro. You got to plan better, Cain. You should have called me, bro. We could have orchestrated this hit.
Yeah.
You didn't do a good job, bro.
That's the
I get the anger and the rage, and I get that 100%. But bro, that's not a good look, man. And you're a UFC fighter. What do you need a gun for, man? Go beat that dude's ass. What do we need a gun for in that situation? You could probably done more damage and made him remember it more than just shooting that dude, bro. You could have really,
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm torn because if you're hanging out with a child molester, you should be shot too. So. Because if somebody touches my daughter, I'm killing their whole family. I'm wiping out generation.
Looking up everybody's registry before they come to your house for a barbecue.
Oh, bro, I know where they're at around this area. Trust me, I know where you're at. If you ever read a story online, like somebody in Florida's killing child molesters out here, like a serial killer using zip ties, it's me.
And they're rainbow zip ties.
If I'm just zip tying people's throats to heads, it's me.
Oh my god,
it's me.
That's so funny, dude.
All right. I'm going to put both y'all in the hot seat tonight.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I got a question, though, real quick. In these intro videos, I'll be looking fly. Ty got these goddamn sunglasses on now. I'm in a red shirt looking like a fucking ABC news host. What the fuck, dude?
Seriously?
Cool, dude. I just want to
I'll change it out, and I'll next
God.
week you'll have this outfit on because let's show the fit what you got on tonight.
I'm repping the Aggies and the Houston Police Department, the two greatest things in Texas.
I'm with David Willis. Me and David Willis are going hunting. Pedophile hunting.
Yeah. I'm sure they got a ranch for that, dude.
Speaking of David Willis, man, we ain't shout him out in a while, man. Hey, shout out to my boy David Willis, man, and his amazing podcast too. I watched his. Me and Ty was on there too. We watched. He had some video game nerds on there, which is pretty cool. So. Nice. I got to watch it, but yeah, it was a good time. I'm ordering a hat from. He's got a pretty sweet podcast hat. I'm going to rep on our show.
Yeah, and we actually. So for everybody out there, I mean, we might as well if we're name dropping shit. So he's got a Marine It Down shirt that he's doing for charity that Got Your Six is helping him make, and we actually took his new logo and we're putting that on the sleeve versus his old logo. So when you get
nice.
that bitch, if you go look at Theory, took a picture in the shirt and put it on his Facebook page, and you can see that big ass eagle on the sleeve.
That's pretty sweet,
man. It looks dope.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I mean, it's got crayons on the front, so the eagle kind of brings it home. You know what I'm saying?
I want to eat an eagle for real. Let's go.
Freaking America. Okay, first question is going to be for Al Hero.
Oh,
All right. Al, what is your favorite movie and why?
I would say favorite movie of all time and why. Oh, man, that's a good question because I'm a movie head. So I would say, I really like. I don't know, Ty. That's a tough question, man. We'll say so. Right now, I'll say Man Down's probably my favorite movie that's out right now. It's an older movie just because of the cinematography of that movie and just the story and the plot behind it and what it stands for as far as looking at PTSD from a different angle.
Yeah, absolutely. Good answer, man. I love that movie. Every movie that you tell me to watch, it's been a good one thus far. So.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, let's get Matt in here. All right, Matthew. What is your favorite beer and why?
Oh, bro, that's easy. Don't even have to think about that. El Jefe from No Label, Hefeweizen, because it's El Jefe and it's fucking delicious. Done.
Excellent. I think my favorite beer is probably Coors Light or something because I don't drink beer that much.
I love the mountains.
Yeah. Yeah, Busch. I guess Busch Light too. All right, Albert.
Busch Light.
All right, you got a 1 hour conversation with anyone from history. Who's it going to be, and what are you going to talk about?
General George Washington. That's the easy one for me. I mean, it's Washington. I mean, he was the father of the Masonic fraternity. I like to sit down and talk to him about that, about how that came to pass, what it really was like back then being a Mason, and what that really meant then compared to what it looks like today.
Excellent, good answer. That'd be a good one. I can't. I think that'd be a good one for me too. Either that or. Go ahead.
Father of the Revolutionary War. I mean, this guy was. We still have army and military tactics based around some of the stuff that he did. I mean, let's be honest. I think the guy was a stud.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that answer. All right, Matthew. Sorry. You go ahead, Matt. All right. What is your earliest childhood memory?
Oh, my God, dude.
Looking up at Albert saying, I love my daddy.
Probably. Earliest childhood memory, dude. I don't know, man. I think probably living in Myrtle Beach, playing in the neighborhoods and running around with kids that are also living on the base, because I was a military brat, so we would go hang out there, Myrtle Beach. And I remember in Myrtle Beach when I was in elementary school, me and my friend used to hide in the woods in the beginning of school, and we would go to school late. And because we gave good puppet dog eyes to our teacher, she wouldn't say nothing. She got fired, but that's probably one of the earliest ones, being mischievous.
Excellent. Yeah, I seem to remember falling through a window, and I heard that I did that when I was 2 years old. So I don't know if that's really my earliest memory or what, but I think it is. All right, Albert, what is your go-to karaoke song?
So I don't sing karaoke, but if I had to pick one, it would be anything by Hank Williams Jr.
What's yours then, Matt?
None, because I don't sing karaoke.
But if you did, what would you go to? Mine's got to be a Hank Williams
Ice Ice
Jr.
Baby,
song.
dude, I'm white, and I just want to feel what it's like to sing Ice Ice Baby.
All right, this one is actually for both of you.
What's yours, Ty?
Go-to karaoke song. Probably something by Young MC or Tone Loc. Wild Thing.
Oh, there you go.
90s rap or something like that.
Yeah.
But if not, then something by Poison. I can kind of stay in that Bret Michaels range, but I don't have much of a voice myself. I don't care about embarrassing myself. I just don't.
Grant said Fancy by Reba. That's a damn good one too, Grant.
Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Me and Grant's going to be singing that one in Mexico in a couple of weeks.
I was going to ask Bob what his go-to
video.
karaoke song is. Bob, what's your go-to karaoke song?
But you don't have to
Come on, Bob.
Mr. Roboto.
What is it, Bob?
What is it, Bob?
Damn, he's thinking, bro. All right, so on to the next question. Oh,
yeah, so the last question I have is really for both of you. So wax poetic about the last 94 episodes that we've had, and then kind of what you envision for what we should be doing on the next 94 episodes.
Oh, so me first. So it's funny. I went back and watched some of the earlier episodes, like in our first couple of shows, and it reminds me of like going to combat for your first time. You're nervous as hell. You're your first couple of weeks there, months there. It's all brand new, and you're trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to figure out what's going on around you, and then all of a sudden you turn into this different person. It's funny to watch our progression, right? Because first couple of episodes, or even first 20 episodes, you can see we're still trying to get to know each other, not as friends but as a podcast crew, and working through some of those difficulties, and just the progression. It's really cool to see how we've grown as a show and grown as a team and grown as brothers. I really like the dynamic that we have now. Doing great, and then moving forward, I really want to see us continue to grow. I want to see us get bigger and have bigger, and I like that we have guests on that don't necessarily have to be famous or big name people, but they can come on and tell their story. So I never want to lose that, but I do want to start branching out and getting some bigger guests, bigger named guests on it eventually too. Not just because I think that they have a better story to tell, but because I think it can help catapult our podcast into to another level. That's it.
Good answer. I like it. That's a good answer. So 94 episodes. 94 episodes is a long time. What I'll tell you is I don't have bad ADD anymore. I can tell you that right now. I've committed something for 95 episodes going on 2 years. Initially I thought that it would be like, hey, let's just go do this and have fun and talk to people, and we all said we want to bring people on so they can tell their story and they can tell everybody what they've been through and how they made it out, and giving people an opportunity to see that you're able to make it no matter what. There is no reason you can't make it, basically. So we did that, and we started talking to more people, and even though, like Al just said, we don't have huge name people on all the time, and I think that's great because I'm just impressed by a lot of the people we've talked to and the things that they've been through and the things that they've persevered to. And some of those stories I feel like I want to send to these big name people so they can go on their podcasts and they can talk about it and get into those big platforms and let people see what you would say normal people have done. But I also, just like Al, there's a progression, when you go back and look at the first 15, 20, you're like, God, those guys suck. And then it got better. And I think it's getting better and better all the time. I think that we're getting better at talking to people. I think that we're doing a better job of helping people relate their stories so that our audience can hear it and get a picture of who they are. But going forward, this is what I'm telling you going forward. Going forward, we need to have 5 or 6 shows a year that we're doing in person with a guest sitting in a studio somewhere so that we can all be in the same place. Because I do feel like if we want to take what we're doing to the next level, we need to be in the same place, because it's that you can't replace what it's like to be in the same place with the 3 of us at one time. And then if we brought a guest in to do that as well, I just think it would elevate it that much more. It's probably going to cause us to go into a lot of debt if we do it once or twice, and it's awesome, but that's what I would like to see. And Grant, I saw you. I know you're the back-to-back. I get it, dude. 3-time. We'll bring you on so you can tell your story. That's the guest that's going to catapult us, though. Grant said it. He goes, if you need a big name, I'm here. But yeah, I think we need to do a better job going forward of getting in the same room and doing some of these in the same room with our guests. I think that would be just a natural next step for what we're doing.
Absolutely. And with the first 94 episodes, it was a exercise in therapy for me, just to be able to put the show together kind of the way I wanted to create a place for y'all to grow your personalities, because Matt, I look to you for mentorship with business. So, when we do make this to the next level of business, I want to be creative as fuck, and I want you to run the business. Al, the interjections and insight that you have, even though that your character that's on the podcast comes off as, a bit of our nuclear option, you're one of the most loyal people I've ever met in my life. And, that's what I've kind of learned from you guys over the first 94. Now, the people that we've had is kind of like flipping through a book of all of our careers, and that has been very refreshing and therapeutic in and of itself, to be able to have that every Tuesday and be able to come on, be live. I like the live aspect of the show, to where we're talking, we're cutting up, we're talking about the people we want to talk about and the topics we want to talk about, and we get your comments in the section. So going forward, I definitely want to do big things. I'm more about, I want someone to invest in us, and I want to make money to where I can develop and build VFWs. Like, I have big ass aspirations. I want a place to where we can have a podcast studio, a brick and mortar building. I want to run Got Your Six, the podcast, and all the other things we're doing as a veteran nonprofit. I want to do that together with you guys. So in the next 94 episodes, maybe 5 years, maybe we can have something like that going. But spending time with you guys each week is one of the highlights of my week, and it's definitely been one of the best things I've had going for me. It's an extracurricular activity since I got out of the military, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And also, just so everybody's aware out there, we are in the next year going to put together some sort of benefit concert. We have to do that, bro.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah. So all you musicians that have been on the show, includes Al,
Boy Bubba,
his karaoke singing skills. For real. Anybody that's been on our show that's a musician, and if you guys know other musicians, we need to bring you guys out here and do a benefit for something. Don't know what that would be yet. Don't know what it would look like, but we definitely need to do that. We've talked to so many talented people that their talents can be shared with the world more than they are now, even though they're all out there. If you look at all the people we've had, they're doing so many great things. It would just be amazing to get them all in the same place for one night. Might be a little bit expensive, so we might need to take a loan or two out, but we can do that. And I'm just excited on where the future goes, right?
Right.
So if you got a lot of money, remember, you don't need to spend it on an electric vehicle. People are keying those. Give it to us, and we'll invest it wisely.
Yes, we will.
Daddy needs some more gator boots. Let's do it.
Oh, dude, the other day I was with Sierra. We were driving to Amazon. We had to take some Amazon stuff back. Take those to Whole Foods. You return them, and we pull into the parking lot, and what's on the corner? A Luke Casey store. I'm like, oh, Al can't know this is here. He might spend all of his money there.
Hey, bro.
I asked Becky. I said, hey, do you want to go in there and see what a pair of boots cost? She's like, why? I'm like, you don't want to do that.
Should go buy her some.
Well, I mean, speaking of which, no, we didn't really do it today, but we can talk about things that are upcoming if you guys are good with that. So we do still have this t-shirt contest going down. I will have updated numbers for everybody next week, just because I'm trying to get ahead of Al. I'm close. Maybe I'll go buy a whole bunch.
Maybe I will too, you son of a bitch.
Maybe you might. But also, see, look at that. Hold on. Go back to that picture real quick. Just real quick. You see that? I look like South Park. Al, I don't know what the hell you're telling a little kid in that, but it can't be good. But look at Ty.
I'm saying we're only playing.
Send me some cool pictures, man. Like when I ask you to send me a selfie, send me a selfie. That's why I'm asking you.
Matt, I'm saying
stop raping my Facebook pictures. Those are horrible.
We're gonna play this game I like to call Only the Tip. That's that face I'm making.
We got a lot of stuff we can talk about today. I mean, Hidden Wounds. That was a great show. Conflict. That was wonderful. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
So no, we do have that, but this Friday, if you live in Houston and you like to support people, Project Zero is doing a networking / fundraising event at Republic Boot in the Heights. They're going to be out there just talking to people and raising money for their Kilimanjaro expedition. So if you're out there, go check it out. It's going to have music, raffles, all that stuff. But the, Republic Boot will fit you up with a hat just right at the hat bar, and they can make your boots anything you want. Al, you want some Senior Chief anchors on a boot? They got you, bro. You want some UK print on some boots, Ty? They got you, bro. They can do whatever you want. So good company. They're definitely in support of veterans and what they're trying to do. So if you're in the area, that would be a place to go check out this week for sure. I'm going to be judging a barbecue contest, but that's here.
Oh yeah, what barbecue contest you judging?
Some AGA contractor or something. I don't know. Balfour Beatty, or where we work with a we work with a whole bunch of people, and some people that work with us are sponsoring like this general contractor barbecue thing. So we're going to check that out. Me and Becky.
Well, be sure and watch the So Smoking Gooder show tomorrow, and watch the
barbecue.
Rate my box segment, so you know how to judge that shit really good.
Rate my. I'm just tasting the shit, bro. I ain't looking at no presentation. To me, it's about how it tastes.
Oh, there's scores for appearance, presentation.
Oh man, I don't care how it looks.
Come on, baby.
We know you don't care how it looks.
I never have cared.
That.
Stay still long enough. It's on. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I get you.
Future guest.
Ooh.
This is gonna be a long segment because last weekend I made a bunch of the new slides, so we're gonna reveal a bunch of guests here. Ready?
Let's do it.
Next week.
Hey, Ollie.
Next week. Who's this? Al?
That's Paul Conway. Me and him served together in recruiting back in Ohio. He is a massive man, but he is such a great leader, man. He's Cleveland native, currently lives in Jacksonville, Florida, doing some big shit. Sport fisherman. He's got a lot of good stories.
And he's a damage controlman.
Yeah, he's
Wait
a firefighter.
till you hear the shit he's seen, bro. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, DC.
Oh, and Dave Willis, if the money's right, I'll come boil crawfish in Kentucky.
Oh
Next.
wow!
I got to get up there.
And then 22 April, we have Julie Austin and Matt Kane. These are two officers that served with me in 716th MP Battalion. They have their own podcast called Dog Tags to Ownership, where they'll talk about going from military to owning your own business, being a veteranpreneur. And so they're going to talk some insights that I'm sure Matt Johnson's going to have a lot. And then at some point, we're going to probably appear on their podcast. So that should be a fun one.
Let's go.
Yeah. And then after that, Patton Gade, the #1 veteran mortgage originator in the United States. What do you know about Patton Gade, Matt Johnson?
He's the fucking man. Period. Look, man, we're not supposed to do it, and we don't do it. And you mortgage, if you want to sponsor us, now's the fucking time to do it for sure. If you want to do a VA loan and do it right, this dude is #1 in the country. Nobody does more volume and nobody does more loans than this guy. He knows VA. He knows what he's talking about. And his team does big things. We know a couple of people that work on his team too, and the people that he's got on his team that work with him, they're going to take care of you. I mean,
he's a West Point grad. He's a ring knocker. Get out of here. Okay,
bro, that
ring
dude,
knocker.
He is the VA guy, #1 in the country for sure.
We'll have him here 29 April. And then 6 May, we've got Dr. Mitch Mackey, President and CEO of Go for Broke National Education Center. We'll learn a lot about the Asian Americans that fought, Japanese Americans specifically, that fought in World War II. You may have heard about the fighting 442nd from the Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi won the Medal of Honor fighting for the 442nd. Well, that unit was actually a very highly recognized, and they got a lot of medals during World War II, and they were all Japanese Americans. So
I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. He's actually been on David Willis's podcast, and I sat there, I think, most of the podcast just wide-eyed and my jaw dropped about the knowledge and the presentation. So I'm really looking forward to that conversation. And then it would be us again, and then this one, who we got here?
We're at the point now where we have people that reach out to us about coming on because they see what we're doing. And Ranger Johnson here, he's an entrepreneur. He's a veteran. He was a Ranger, but a lot of what they do is they champion for veterans and help guys when they have issues with claims and they're trying to get stuff submitted and trying to do that navigation process. So if you are somebody that's stuck in that realm and you're looking to get some help, this would be a guy that you want to sit in and listen to and hear his take and how they help people as far as navigating that. And obviously we're probably going to get into a lot about his book and what that means, but I know they do all kinds of stuff. So I'm excited to talk about him.
Yeah, just the energy they had in their email when they were talking to us about Gino's the son, Terry Ranger Johnson's the father, and just what they're doing now to get people their benefits is amazing. But the story that he's going to tell with the Pebble perspective and just his whole mindset, I'm excited to hear that too. So what we got next? Oh, big one, 27 May. This is going to be a show that we're going to record at the end of this month, but talk about this one there a little bit, Matt Johnson.
Well, I mean, Ty is the man. He doesn't take no, maybe, or I'll get back to you as an answer. And because of who Ty is and what he's done, we get to have General David Petraeus on. If anybody's aware of who he is, and if you served in the military and don't know who he is, well, you probably should take your DD Form 214 back and get it shredded. But he 101st Airborne, he was the director of the CIA. The dude has probably wrote more books and taught more classes and engaged and helped more people in tactics in battle than you could probably imagine. And he's going to come on and just talk to us and then talk about perspective and what service meant to him and things that he's into now, and just have an opportunity to talk to someone like him as we do everybody else and get their opinion.
Bob, stop hating. Hold on, Matt. Damn, Bob, you hating the hard.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention to the comment section. You guys know that. He's
damn, Bob.
Bob must have asked him for an autograph and didn't get it.
I'm gonna get you an autograph, Bob. Don't worry.
Hey, Bob, don't go into why you don't like him. I know you don't like him. We'll talk about it later, brother. But anyway, General Petraeus, people from the 101st MP Company did his PSD during the 2003. We got a chance to see history happening from a front row seat every day, and I will forever be grateful for that experience in the 101st MP Company. So all those staff sergeant squad leaders that allowed me to be in and around all those cool things that were going on, I appreciate it. So yeah, we're gonna have General. Sure. It'll be a lot of fun. Then here's another one, Levi Harrell. This is a guy that is U.S. Army veteran, poet, motivational speaker, kind of out of the norm of someone we would normally have. Like he's not big into doing a lot of things with nonprofits. This guy's a poet. I mean, he goes on and kind of markets himself. So we'll talk to him, friend from high school, know him from Jacksonville, Florida. And then Master Chief retired James Sandlin, Navy fan. He was a father figure of mine, and he is obviously a Red super fan, as you can see Glenn Braggs and Dave Parker there in the background. But we'll have him on the 26th of June.
I can't wait to hear his initiation stories, dude. I got to hear about that shit, dog. Like I
really want y'all to ask as many senior chief questions. Like let's get all that. Let's just squeeze.
This is going to be dope.
Information, yeah.
I want to ask, has he ever written anybody's face with a Sharpie marker? I just want to know.
Have you ever addressed somebody's lack of sideburns with Sharpies?
Have you ever addressed sideburn length with Sharpies?
Hey, but look, like, what's his rate? Because that rate is not a command master chief rate. It looks like, was it like gunner's mate?
Yeah, GM, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe a SH. One of the two.
I think he can tell you now what he did. I know he couldn't tell people for a while what he did. He couldn't tell us when we were kids. Like, he wouldn't tell us what he did. So he was one of those guys.
Oh, he's going to tell us.
Yeah.
I guess he can tell us a little bit now, is what he was telling me when he was getting ready to come on the show. Yeah, cool guy. Always had great stories. And when I was in high school, he's, other than my father being a Marine himself and a lot of people in my family being in the military, growing up in Jacksonville, Florida, and my best friend was his son. I was constantly at his house. So being around Chiefs, I've been around Chiefs since I was in high school. It's probably.
And I still can't believe you joined the Army, dude.
Well,
they didn't make a good enough impression on you, bro.
Nah, they made a good impression. I'm just being rebellious, you know.
There you go.
And then we got your boy William Branham. He answered an email back today. He'll be on 17 July. So
Yep. Naked Warrior Recovery, CBD, healing, former Navy SEAL. The guy's got a great story. He does his own podcast, so can't wait to talk to him again.
And then this is one of my soldiers. This is one of the guys from the knockaround guys that deployed with me in fight. So he's going to have a story about a ceiling fan. But what this will really be is a kind of a look at what someone was when they were in the military, kind of what they learned when they were in the military, and then what they become after the military. This dude is always wicked smart, but he's applied his IT prowess in a way that he's done very well for himself.
Is he from Massachusetts?
I'm sure he is. He's got
I
that.
hope so, because he has to say wicked smart the right way. It has to come out the right way, dude.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot of stories. I'm sure Berto and a lot of the knockaround guys from the various signal shops that I've been in charge of will probably talk about this one, because we had a lot of stories, man, from that 15 month or so. Should be fun.
Yeah, I like how it says dealt with Ty for 15 months. Not served with Ty. I dealt with Ty for 15 months. I made it through.
It was something. I mean, I was wired pretty tight during that 15 month or so. It'll be interesting to hear what he says. So what y'all think about this episode? A little surprise for y'all with Rocco, and then we take
awesome. Rocco's the man, bro.
Pretty good show. I mean, for not having a guest, I mean, we got to wax poetic about something, right?
Yeah, might as well be Signal, pedophiles, and all the other stuff we talked
about. We're gonna get killed for the hating dogs.
I'm sorry.
Listen, dude, I just want to let everybody know out there.
That's just me.
If you take any snippets from this shit, that wasn't me. That was all Al.
That was me.
I will tell you that, but I'm also going to tell you when he goes in.
I'm gonna eat bald eagles and I'm gonna kill it. I don't like dogs. How about that?
If April heard what Al said tonight, he's gonna leave out and be like, I was just kidding, baby. I was just kidding. I would never do that. I gotta be tough on there. I gotta be tough.
She knows how I feel.
I was just kidding, David, by the way, about the money. If you want to do a crawfish boil in Kentucky, let me know. We can hit it up. I fed 600 pounds worth a couple weeks ago. So I don't know if they get crawfish in Kentucky, though. We'd have to bring that up the Mississippi River.
Bring that up from Mississippi.
All right, Matt, what you think? You ready to go?
Take us out, Matt.
Man. Let's go.
Get out of here.
So just like always, Tuesdays at 7 until a couple weeks from now, we'll be back to Thursdays. But either way, once a week, this is where you can come to hear stories, hear people's perspective, write whatever you want in the comment section, have your opinion. Know that it counts. Know that it matters. If you or know somebody that has a story and they want to tell, we're interested in talking to everybody, just because we want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard and that your stories are out there, because that's what keeps you moving on even after you're gone, right? We've talked about that before. Go support our t-shirt drive. I know that my shirt's the best, but at the end of the day, I don't care which one you buy. Just buy one of the three. And then while you're at it, there's a whole bunch of Got Your Sick shit on there that you'd probably like to wear as well. So go check that out. SameFlagSameOath.com. Support us to support veteran charities. And that's it. We'll see you next week. And if you have a question or you want to be a guest, hit us up on social. Drop us a message in Facebook Messenger, Instagram, DM us, whatever it is. We'll get a hold of you back and we'll bring you on. So with that, I'll send it over to Al.
All I'm going to say is fuck them if they can't take a joke. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them if they can't take it. No, don't sweat the petty stuff, people. That sweaty stuff. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming out and supporting us once again, like you always do. Keep coming back and keep inviting people to come back. That's how this show is going to continue to grow and continue to reach more veterans. And we're out here doing big shit. So help us get that message across. Love you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. As Bob said, prayers go out to the people in Kentucky. They lost everything due to the flooding. And big shout out to 2nd Brigade Strike for all the help they did in Oak Grove last weekend. Appreciate y'all very much. Air assault. And thanks y'all for coming out watching. We'll see you next week.